Hello, welcome back to HyperHam Delivery Company Devlog 4. This game is about rolling around in a hamster ball at high speed on hills, delivering carrots to other little hamsters. So this week is weird because I have this big event happening tonight. That I'm hosting an event for DigiPen's virtual LAN party, which is a little bit of an oxymoron, but I'm thankful that they're still doing it. So from 6 p.m. tonight, which is in about 3 hours, till 3 in the morning, I'm doing this Wellness Club event for the club I run for Wellness Club. So I have less time to work on the game, or like a restricted sort of time window to work on the game this week. But that's okay. We're still going to get stuff done. So let me show. Oh yeah, a couple of other updates. I did an interview with DigiPen recently that featured this game, HyperHam Delivery Company, and it also featured the last team project that I worked on called Moo and the Little Reef, which is a really cute game. So if you like this, that's worth checking out. And last video I said I would have closed captions. I went back on my second video. It had the auto-generated captions from YouTube, and then I, went back and improved them, but that took a lot longer than I expected. So it's important to me. I still really want to have that, but for now, they might just be the auto-generated captions, and it seems like they take a few days at least to be generated. It seemed to happen automatically for the second one, but the third one, they weren't there whenever I uploaded it. So I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I'll at least try to enable the auto-generated ones, or however that works. And if I have some time at some point, then I'll go back and fix them and make them grammatically correct and clean them and things like that. But it takes a lot longer than I expected, and I'm really crunched for time right now, so it might be a while. So first thing that I'm going to work on today is switching the mouse on and off in the menu. So I have my gamepad, and pressing start on it pause and unpause the game at least. But I need to navigate through these menus with the left stick, the D-pad. I think I also actually needs to navigate with the right stick. Oh shoot. I just realized that's probably going to cause problems for me on my other game. Okay. Yeah, it needs to have this gamepad navigation, and it needs to hide the mouse cursor whenever you start using the gamepad in here, and then show the mouse cursor again if you start using keyboard or mouse. It's a little bit of a pain to set that up, but I did it recently on another team project that I have, so I at least remember how to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on that. Okay, so I set up a real simple check for basically whether incoming input is gamepad or keyboard or mouse included. But if I run this, what you'll see is all that printing false is saying it's not gamepad. If I start using my gamepad, it's printing true. So that's working. That's working, except for on the menu, I have no idea why there's no input here. It's just not taking input, and let's see. Oops, stop. This enable input mode, or wait, hold on. Maybe disable input. That's probably what I should have looked for, because I was gonna say there's nothing here that disables the input. It might. I don't think this would cause it to get disabled at the start of the game. Maybe there's some way for me to check like if the player controller has input right now, because yeah, I don't know why these inputs aren't getting taken at the start. I don't even think the game is paused technically when you start. Like, it just shows the menu, but even then this execute when paused is still on it. So this one is not. Maybe that would be enough. Nope. Okay, I'll have to do some more digging, I guess. Okay, this is the culprit. The splash screen sets the input mode to UI only, which, because my UI is going to be driven through the player controller, I don't think I'm ever going to use this UI only mode. I'm not sure. If I just disconnect this, I think it's probably gonna screw some stuff up, but let's see. Okay, I don't really want to be able to move the camera around at that time. I wonder what happens if I'm in here. Okay. I don't really want to be able to move the camera around, but I feel like that's just not really that big of a deal, except for the fact that the camera is going to be controlled by the right stick, which for some reason the game gallery requirements required you to be able to navigate menus with the right stick. I don't think I've ever played a game or even thought about doing that, but that's a whole other issue that I'm going to have to get sorted out at some point, not only for this game, but for my team game that I'm working on right now. But yeah, I'm going to have to set up a whole switch to basically switch between game only, what is this? The input mode to game only or game and UI, but I can't ever basically use the UI only or it's going to break stuff. Okay, so after going back and looking at my old code, I'm working on 2 projects simultaneously right now that I've tried to implement the menus and stuff in a similar way, and I'm realizing that there are some key differences in how I implemented this stuff, and it's just too much to try to get in the gamepad support. And frankly, like, the game works on gamepad, but it just doesn't quite feel great, and I don't have enough time to really like test and fully iterate on that. So I'm kind of trying to negotiate that with my professor, like, real time, but I'm probably just going to drop all of the gamepad implementation integration stuff. Okay, so I got basically all of the gamepad. I kind of restored everything because I had sort of messed up how my menus took input there. I was gonna, improve it and add the gamepad support, but I just sent it back to the way it was, which was a little bit gross in code, but it works. It functions just fine. And I don't think I'm going to really be doing a whole lot more with the UI functionality now that I'm not doing gamepad support. And then I removed all of... What on earth? Okay, I thought that I had removed the bindings. I swear I just did that. Okay, so I just changed those. Just changed them. Now if I go back. Okay. Okay. It's putting them back. I have no idea why that's happening. Anyway, I'll mess around with that and try to make it not do that, but I did that, and obviously I had to disconnect my gamepad rumble function that I made. Oof. So yeah, and now I'm gonna figure out why this is still putting the bindings back for some reason, and oh, I know why, because the input okay, I know it's causing that. I'll just have to go through and fix it, but after I do that, I'm going to figure out what I'm actually doing for this sprint now that my plan just changed very drastically. So the reason why those axes were getting put back in was because my options menu has this horrible thing that allows you to invert the camera axes. I don't really know why you would do that. I think my mom was playing and she was like doing it wrong, and I was like, oh, maybe that'd be a good function to include. Maybe it would be easy. It's not easy. It was a huge pain. So I'm gonna fix that, and then yeah, perf. Now it's not doing the thing. Okay, I finished reviewing the TCR and went back through and had to make a few new items that I'm like, I don't even know if this is possible because Unreal is weird and some things you can do in Blueprint and some things you can't. So you gotta know some C++. So first thing that I'm gonna do is remove the kawaii music because it's paid content. I paid for it. You would think that I would get to use it, but I can't. I can't have it up on the game gallery with paid content anyway, which I guess makes some amount of sense. So I'm gonna go through and remove that and probably just replace it with. I might go try to find some like some better tracks. But I also have my friend Ariel, who's working with me on my team project right now, said she might try to compose some music for this, which would be really amazing. So hopefully I'll get some of the placeholder music I find or whatever switched out, but I'm going to go find some backup tracks. So I remembered one of the free asset packs that I've gotten from just the monthly content is this Mega Music collection, which I was trying to find something, and then I was like, oh, I'll just delete like 10 folders full of music because these are all like action games. Like I'm not going to use any of this. I need it to be cuter than that. And now we're just stuck here with the resolution not scaling properly, the engine completely frozen up, so it's a good time. Okay, so I picked out a bunch of new music, mostly from the same pack, just to try to keep things feeling more consistent. I didn't end up using any of the music from that like Mega Music pack or whatever. It was all too intense, so I just found other stuff. So I gotta update my what is this? Credits for one. And also, this game has like little rhythm minigame here. I just realized that I have my audio output capture off, so I'll turn that on. And I've had to mess around with the audio a little bit, but hopefully this is still audible. So now I got some new music. I can skip through the tracks with some key presses. If I press 4, I think, yeah, rhythm unlocked. So I don't know if I've ever actually shown this off in one of these videos, but a little thing shows up. I think it's broken right now because I didn't put in numbers for those. Yeah, so it automatically spawns these little things that are supposed to be playing with the rhythm of the music, but I need to give them a I need to give these a correct tempo marking, so I have to go through and I think I'm probably going to use a website called like Tap BPM or something like that and figure out what the tempos are for all of them. And then once I put them in, that rhythm game thing should update automatically. Okay, so I got through this removing the music. I didn't really think about like, when I estimated this, I wasn't thinking about like how much time it would take to actually put new stuff in to replace it. So that's why it took quite a bit longer. So I'm gonna delete all of the music from that humongous music pack. Let's see where that is, this Mega Game Music Collection. So as I do this, the editor is going to be completely unusable for a while now. So that gives me a great opportunity to start on going through and collecting receipts for all of the content that I used. Basically just anything that I paid for. Oh shoot, I just realized there's probably something else that I paid for in the game as well, which is my main menu, what is now my main menu music. I'm pretty sure I also paid for that. Okay. Once the engine is done doing its thing, I'll go through and fix that. But anything that I would normally be paid but I got for a $0 sale, I'm going to go through and get receipts for it to prove that I didn't pay for it. Okay, I pulled out the last remaining bit of paid content that I had used. So that's all done. And now I just remembered I don't have the nature pack in this asset list. Oh my god. There's still a lot of things I need to do. But I'm about 7 minutes away from this event that I'm running, so that's going to be it for tonight. Okay. I think we should all just take a second to breathe. Yesterday was extremely chaotic. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's probably, if you're watching the video, it's probably really hard to understand what is happening. It's a little bit what it gets like, kind of close to the end of the road. If you're looking at this board, you probably can't see because my face is probably blocking a bunch of it, but there's just all this stuff that like, I just was like, not gonna do any of that because I dropped the gamepad functionality, so just knocked out like a bunch of little things that needed to get done. So once the engine loads up, I need to fix this little bit of dialogue that said they forced to buy. So somewhere in my data, I think it's this one. No, it's somewhere in there. I just have a typo that I need to fix that I made note of. And then I will be, I think I'm done collecting receipts and license files. This might need a little bit more work, so I'll go through and fix that, that typo and then clean up those last two things there. Okay, so something I realized while I was doing my licenses was I used a bunch of sound effects from a library at DigiPen, a digital library, and I don't have the license files or any way to access them. Usually would be able to do, like, we're able to get some things digitally, but that's not something I have access to. So I think I'm gonna need to spend the next like couple of hours. There's not that many sound effects in the game, thankfully, and I have ideas for how I can do most of them, including, oh, you probably can't hear those, but I think I'm gonna do some cool little like piano, like musical sound effects for a few of them. But I have to do a rolling ball one specifically for the ball rolling around, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go remake all of the sound effects from my game, basically. Okay, I got the rolling sound replaced, and works pretty decently. I actually, funny enough, used this container rolling around on my floor. I tried a bunch of different smaller balls, and they didn't they didn't make the noise I wanted. I think it's because this thing is hollowed out, so it worked better. So I got a few more. I'll probably do the what are these? This little money one. I got my wallet. I'll shake it around a little bit, that kind of thing. Okay, so I went through and recorded sounds for everything. So getting money. Let's see, what else did I do? That rolling ball one I showed, I did a wind effect. And I figured out a cool way to get audio to loop in Audacity, so I learned something new there. And then all the other ones are musical ones that I did playing my MIDI keyboard in Ableton. So you got this delivery start, buying an upgrade, losing a rank, so taking too long to deliver something, and trying to buy something that's out of your price range. So now all of the sound effects in the game are mine. I own them. I am giving myself permission to use them. So yeah, I think I neglected to mention I got back and started on level loading, which is being a huge pain. So yeah, I'm just watching a bunch of videos until I figure out how to do it. So okay, so I got my loading screen set up, I think, with these cute little dudes going on. The thing that I was having trouble with, so when you do the way that you set up loading screens is with asynchronous level loading, so you have one empty level, it contains your other levels and loads them in basically. My character uses loads in the correct way with what is this, player start. What I found was the player start has to be in the persistent level in order to work correctly, and mine was not. So that's why I was having that issue earlier. But that was basically the only thing that I had to solve. So now I got a few more things. I need to make an intro screen bypass, which just means by my DigiPen loading screen right now, the animation or the splash screen, it is there for like a half a second or something like that, and it needs to be unaltered for at least 2 seconds. It used to be 3 seconds, so I'm stuck in doing that for my compulsiveness. But you need to be able to press all these different buttons in order to advance through it. So this isn't too bad, but it's just a thing to let the player skip that kind of splash screen. Easy. 12 minutes. I got more stuff here. This bug where you fly through the floor is not good. I need to look at my backlog and see. Yeah, I have all this like pretty important stuff. Proper minimization, proper resumption of desktop resolution. I think those things. Yeah, these are probably going to create some issues for me. I'm going to try to fix the bug where you fall through the floor first, because that happens like pretty frequently, and now that the water doesn't respawn you just kind of like are trapped under the terrain until you go out to the side of it, but that's like obviously not intuitive, so yeah. I think I have an idea of how I'm going to do that. Probably when you hit the water, I'll probably do a line trace up a good ways and see if it hits terrain, assuming that it goes through both sides. If it hits terrain, then I know that you're under the landscape, and I'll just put you above roughly where you are. I think that should probably fix that problem, so that's my idea. I'm going to see how long it takes to implement that and if it works. Okay. I keep forgetting that pressing my end key to start and stop my video might like do weird things in the engine, but I did that whole setup thing to check for the ground, and sometimes it was working and sometimes it wasn't. It was just doing a line trace up to see if it hit the terrain from beneath it. I just googled like, oh, things moving really fast and going through the walls. Yeah, turning on continuous collision detection. So in Unreal, half the time it's just like, oh, you didn't check the right box, and that's it. So I checked the box, and I just tested a bunch of times with like this extremely high. Let me turn my music down a little bit. This really, really high impulse, like a very, very strong impulse for going down, because that's what causes people to go through the floor. And even with this like much higher value than I would ever use, I haven't been able to get it to do that. So that continuous collision detection seemed to have fixed it. So I have to go back and change that thing, and then I'll be done with that. So that, yeah, flight to the floor thing hopefully is fixed for now. I just have a constant note to keep updating my credits. So, and I've had a handful of people playtest the game since I last updated them. So I'm just gonna go through and add their names, just keeping track of the regular stuff. All right, making sure everyone is credited where they are due. I don't remember what else I need to do here. Let's see. Well, keep this in progress, because if anybody else tests it, I might need to. change some things. So yeah, I still have, I think I want to work on it for a little bit more tonight. Might try to pull one of these things in for my backlog. This one was weird. So this is if the game like affects your desktop resolution, then like if it manually sets the desktop resolution in your operating system, then it has to undo that whenever you close it. I haven't experienced an Unreal game do that before, but one of my playtesters, David, told me that that happened on his end, so I might have to make a build of the game and kind of play around with the settings a bit and see if I can do something to break it. It's difficult. When we were at the DigiPen campus, we had clean machines that you basically they would reset everything, so it was like installing it to a clean machine. That's why they're called that. Something that never had a program installed on it before, to make sure that it doesn't need any extra prerequisites or anything like that. Oh, speaking of which, I remember to do these installer redistributables. Maybe I'll do that if this doesn't end up being an issue. But yeah, and I don't have access to those anymore because I'm not at the campus, so I can't really test this on any machine really except for mine personally. So if somebody else is like, oh, this weird thing is happening, it's really hard for me to know. So I'm gonna try it again on my machine, see if I get any weird results, and then this may be a non-issue for me or may not be. Okay, so I'm really not sure on this installer redistributables. I looked online and there's all sorts of stuff, but it seems like doing a shipment build automatically has the installer redistributables. The redists in the thing. Problem that I'm running into is I just packaged my game as a shipment build. If I run it, you're gonna see that no loading screen, went straight to my splash screen for some reason, and a bunch of my stuff is broken. I have a feeling that this is due to stuff being hooked up to its like on constructed, for instance. And my audio is super loud. Let's fix that. And for some reason, my windowed thing isn't working, as I mentioned before. Yeah, I just like lost control and now I can't do anything. So I guess loading created some issue that I have to figure out how to solve now. So I'm back to that. Okay, so my character was falling through the floor. And what I did was literally have it not have gravity by default and then turn gravity on once everything's loaded in, because I think what was happening was the character was getting created and the physics simulation started before the like level was even loaded in, so it's just falling through the floor instantly. But now it's just a little loading screen that happens, and that. Excuse me. So I'm packaging it again. I guess we can find out in real time together what is going on. Because before, another issue was that the input just like randomly dropped out. So I'm not sure if that's going to be solved by this. Ooh, yeah, the frame rate's real bad because it's okay. Frame rate's all over the place because, oh, I don't know why the mouse was not visible there. Let's see if so I can do a low resolution. Okay, I mean that seems to be working. That's really strange to me though that would make it work, like fix the input issue. I don't know though. I mean, it seems to be working. I'm gonna have to test this a bunch more and see if this is still creating issues for me. Here we go again with the input being stuck. I'm out of the window. I can't focus into the window, so I just have no idea what is causing this, what is going on. Okay, so I think what's happening is I have to close this because otherwise it's not going to be audible, but yeah, and that is changing the resolution of the whole screen. I didn't realize that until now, but I think what's happening is not opening the main menu causes that to get lost. Like, I'm trying to find a good way to say it. Something is happening with the input where the input is getting lost and it's not able to focus back in. But that only happens if you don't change like the resolution. I wonder if changing other options. Okay, now I think I know what's happening. Oh, and I'm in 4K. This might screw up my recording. Oops. Okay, so all this resolution switching in order to record without going into like crazy, my computer trying to capture 4K video. This is what's showing me what's going on. So I think what's happening is when the game starts up, it's using I think the resolution like having a lower resolution than the recommended one is causing some problem. And I would imagine that it has something to do somewhere in this, where is this resolution setup? This. I think I get like I think I'm just getting the highest resolution that your monitor, yeah, the supported resolutions. So I think if I make it use the current resolution of the monitor, it should be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try that and see if I can fix it that way. And I probably need to set that resolution in the loading screen instead of here as well, so. I thought I had fixed the problem, but here we are. Okay, I am just kind of exhausted, and I think this is probably about the last build that I can do tonight before I need to just wrap everything up. I had use set input mode UI only in here, which I think is what was causing the issue. Yeah, I wonder what might have. Oh, I just realized it was probably this intro screen bypass, and then this was getting called again. The bool toggle that I had set up before should have worked, but I experienced a similar issue in my team game recently. So just cross my fingers that this works instead and that I don't get some weird issue. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna find out. Okay, I think everything is working as expected on this sort of like that weird input getting lost thing. What is not working is my load screen. So that, I don't know how much more work that's going to take, but it's not showing up when you play, and I'm not 100% sure why, so I'm going to have to go through and work on that more, but that's it for tonight. Next week, I'm going to be trying to finish this stuff, and if I can figure out all the stuff that's broken here, then I might have enough time to make a trailer and some info to put on the game gallery. So a sad note to leave on, but it's done.